Hey guys, I'm back. This video, I want to talk a little bit more. It's kind of a follow-on to what I talked about in the last video, and that was when you are prospecting over the phone, cold calling FSBOs and expireds. I have a script for this. I will train you to do this. If you have not been through the training and you don't have the script, let me know. I'll put a download link below. But if you're using RedX to call FSBOs and expired, the script are very, very similar. If you're calling a FSBO, you're going to ask, is the house still available and are you willing to work with an agent? If you're calling an expired listing, you're going to take a little different approach, although you're really going to end up in the same place. The difference between the two is this: a FSBO is a for sale by owner. An expired is someone who had their house listed with an agent and now that listing has expired. Either it's gone, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever, it's expired, unsold. Most people, when their listing expires, don't even realize it. I've called some expireds and they didn't have an idea. They didn't have a clue. Sometimes the realtor is happy to let the listing expire. I've had some like that. But what I always do is with the FSBO, I do, hey, I'm calling with just 2 really quick questions. Is the house still for sale or are you willing to work with an agent? When I call an expired, ring, ring, hello. Hi, is this Mr. Smith? If it's an older gentleman, you can always tell by the voice. Hey, is this Bob? Yeah. Hey, Bob, it's Tim with Evolved Realty. How are you? Always try to sound like you're calling a friend. Don't ever sound salesy. Don't ever use last names. It puts people off. Hey, Bob, it's Tim Knox or Tim with Evolved Realty. How are you? I'm fine. Hey, Bob, I'm just calling really quick to let you know. Did you know your house on 123 Elm Street, the listing had expired? Most of the time they go, well, no. And if they do that, go, well, yeah, it expired in the MLS, which means your house is no longer on the market. A lot of times it's a surprise to them. Well, what I do is I've got 2 really quick questions for you, Bob. What are you planning on doing with the house? And you can say, are you planning on listing it or are you still interested in working with an agent? What I always like to do is go for the shortest answer of all. All right. Ring, ring. Hello. Hey, is this Bob? Yes, it is. Hey, Bob, it's Tim with Evolved Realty. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? Hey, just trying to stay warm in this cold weather. Really quick, Bob, I don't want to take up much of your time. I'm calling about the house on Elm Street. Were you aware that your listing had expired? If they say yes, they're aware. They're no, and they're not happy. That's the one thing you've got to remember about expireds. They're usually ticked off, and it was their realtor's fault that the house didn't sell. It's never their fault. So if they say, yes, it's expired, I will then go, well, just wanted to know, curious, are you still willing to work with an agent if I bring you a qualified buyer? And then I go right into the same sales pitch that I use for FSBOs. Well, do you have a buyer? I work with buyers in your area all the time, Bob, blah, blah, blah. So if they say, well, no, I didn't know it was expired. Now, you don't want to go into long, deep conversations with these folks. You can always ask, well, did you know your listing's expired? If they say no, you can go, well, yeah, according to the MLS, it expired today, which means the house is no longer on the market. Really quick, are you still willing to work with an agent if I bring you a buyer? Now, a lot of times, blah, blah, blah. Okay, sorry, I'm checking my phone. I've got a listing working. Sometimes they'll want to talk about the realtor. You don't want to go into that. You don't want to go into why didn't the house sell. Have that conversation when you get there, okay? Here's the thing I think a lot of folks forget. You're not calling up to have a full conversation. You're simply calling to make an appointment to come see the house. Once you get there, then you can ask those questions. If you're there on your house tour, as you're walking around, you can say things like, well, it's a great house, Bob. Why do you think it didn't sell? Okay. And he's going to tell you 9 times out of 10, he's going to blame it on the realtor. Well, they never showed it. There was never an open house, blah, blah, blah. And you can ask qualifying questions like, well, do you think the house is priced fairly? Do you think that was an issue? What do you think the issue was? When you get in a situation like that, it's what they call you're commiserating with the expired. It is a commiserative relationship at that point because you're a little astounded that the house didn't sell too. All right. So those are the main differences. Again, our goal, whether you're calling a FSBO or an expired, you are simply calling to get an appointment, to get in the house, to get in front of them. Then you can show them comps. You can show them the why list with me. You can show, you can show them the price matrix and do the math and do the big circles. And that's it. A lot of times we make things harder than they have to be. This is really very simple. All right. Again, I'll link in the scripts below. You need to practice these scripts until you can say them just like you're having a conversation. You can call me, you can call Amy, you can call Zach. We will role play with you. I'll role play over the phone. I'll role play in person. I know it feels awkward, but it is the only way to get good at this. And if you are not good at prospecting or cold calling, you're going to have to find another way to reach clients, because that's what it takes. That's what I started doing. First 3 months, I was in this office every day for 2 or 3 hours a morning, cold calling FSBOs and expireds and lining them up. So that's what you should be doing. As always, if you've got questions or comments, put them in the boxes below, and give me a call, whatever. I'm here to help you. Hi, is this Bob? Hey, Bob, it's Tim with Revolved Realty. See ya.